recording. Pues buenos días, bueno, buenas tardes todos. Hoy tenemos un webinar muy interesante con dos institutos de Irlanda que son Lingua Viva y Cork English College, y también estamos aquí hoy con Lorcan, que trabaja con Marketing English Ireland. Las personas que no me conocen, mi nombre es Jörgen Sjöberg y soy el gerente general del Instituto Nórdico, una empresa que fundé hace 13 años. Nosotros trabajamos con varias universidades en el mundo, en particular universidades europeas y más de todo universidades en los países nórdicos. Aparte de trabajar con universidades, trabajamos con institutos de idiomas en varios países, entre ellos Irlanda, que está acá con nosotros hoy. Nuestros servicios son completamente gratuitos. Ustedes no tienen que pagar nada como tal a nosotros, como por nuestra asesoría. El precio que ustedes ven en las páginas de los institutos de los idiomas con los cuales trabajamos es el precio que van a pagar. Incluso es posible que el precio que ustedes ven en la página de ellos es superior al precio que nosotros podemos ofrecer. Porque los institutos muchas veces prefieren que trabajan con una agencia, más de todo por el tema de la visa y todo. Entonces, a veces, incluso nosotros tenemos mejores ofertas que se encuentran en las páginas de ellos. Como comentaba, todos nuestros servicios son gratuitos. Nosotros solamente cobramos acá en Colombia por traducciones oficiales. De hecho, las traducciones oficiales son, nosotros ni siquiera cobramos, nosotros enviamos el contacto a nuestra persona, a nuestra traductora oficial, que ayuda con todas las traducciones. Entonces, la negociación de precio de las traducciones es directamente con ella. Entonces, nosotros no cobramos nada por nuestros servicios. Lo que ustedes ven acá es un sitio increíble en Irlanda, que se llama Cliffs of Moher. Eso queda cerca entre Cork y Galway, más o menos. Sonny, is that correct? Where is Cliffs of Moher?
So the Cliffs of Moher, they're on the west coast, and they're in County Clare, which is about just between Cork and Galway, more or less. So on the west coast, the Wild Atlantic Way. Yeah.
Why is Cliffs of Moher so special, Sonny?
I suppose the picture says it all. When you go there, it really takes your breath away. The size and the scale of them, and the length as well. You can walk the entire length of the cliffs as far as you can see in the picture, and it's something quite unique, I suppose, to Ireland. Certainly on that scale, anyway.
Y como lo pueden ver, es bien, bien verde. Y así es. Y durante todo el año es una isla muy, muy verde, algo que a mí me encanta con Irlanda. Otro tema muy interesante con Irlanda es que uno puede trabajar mientras que uno estudia. En los meses de junio a septiembre se puede trabajar 40 horas por semana. Y en la temporada navideña también se puede trabajar 40 horas por semana. Es que es una gran ventaja. Y necesitan mucha gente en Irlanda justo ahora después de la pandemia, porque mucha gente se fueron. Entonces ya necesitan gente que trabaja en bares, en cafés, en hoteles, entre otros sitios. Nosotros, voy a cambiar acá. Nosotros, algo muy bueno con Irlanda, en Irlanda hablan inglés y aparte hablan Gaelic. Gaelic no es el idioma que no hablan el Gaelic como tal en la calle. Lo que uno escucha en la calle es inglés como tal, que es el idioma que todo el mundo habla. Pero creo que se aprenden en Gaelic en el colegio. No estoy seguro. Lorcan, do you learn Gaelic at school?
Yeah, so everybody would learn Gaelic in school, in primary school and in secondary school as well. So up until the age of 18, and then generally a lot of people forget it very quickly after that, unless they're living in it immersively. So like there's certain parts of the country where people speak it daily, but the vast majority are speaking English day to day.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody learns it through primary school and secondary school. So everybody has some language skills, I suppose, in Gaelic. Yeah.
So Lorcan, how do you say like hi, how are you in Gaelic, Lorcan?
Well, I'm one of probably the worst people to ask for this because I was actually went to school in the UK.
Ah.
So I think you'll leave it to Sonny.
So it's quite interesting. So when you say hello, you say diagwit, which the literal translation is may God be with you. And the response is dia is muragwit. So your response is and Mary with you. So it's based in religion, in Catholicism. Um, and as Larkin says, there are certain parts of the country called Gaeltacht areas where they only speak Irish. Well, they speak English also, but they prefer Irish. But for anyone who visits Ireland as well, you'll notice that a lot of the street signs around the cities and around the county are in English and in Irish. So you'll get to experience both. Yeah.
Y hablando del Gaelic, es muy interesante porque cuando llegué al aeropuerto en Dublín, le vi como el nombre donde iba a ir en Gaelic. No tenía ni un carajo, literal, como esa vaina que es. Bueno, luego me di cuenta que era en Gaelic como tal, pero bueno, todo está en Irlanda, está en inglés como tal. Como comentaba, en Irlanda se puede trabajar 40 horas en el verano. Y también se puede trabajar como 40 horas durante la temporada navideña. Lo bueno es que uno puede ir a estudiar en Irlanda, uno puede estudiar inglés, por ejemplo, 6 meses y luego quedarse allá 2 meses más. Entonces hay muy buenas oportunidades de trabajar como tal. Y bueno, si uno quiere extender la visa, se puede hacerlo también en Irlanda. Se puede extender la visa 2 veces. Entonces uno puede quedarse en Irlanda estudiando inglés 8 meses duplicado por 3, es decir, como 24 meses. Nosotros podemos ayudar a ustedes con el tema de la visa. Pueden estar como una asesoría, cómo se aplica. Pero no podemos dar como consejos, pero podemos ayudar a ustedes con el tema de la visa, cómo se aplica y todo. Si están acá en Colombia, ya se pueden aplicar acá a través de la embajada, que ya en Bogotá, que ya hay embajada acá hace como 2 o 3 años. Y como comentaba, nuestra asesoría es completamente gratuita. Y cuando tenga como tal la carta de aceptación en el instituto, ya puedes iniciar con el proceso como tal de la visa. Y pues, bueno, esa es la final de mi presentación corta. Lo que a mí me gusta mucho con Irlanda es que viajar desde Irlanda a cualquier parte en Europa es muy económico. De hecho, la aerolínea Viva Air acá en Colombia, que ya está en varias partes, de hecho, en Sudamérica, los dueños de esa aerolínea son los mismos de Ryanair, que es como la aerolínea económica de Irlanda. Yo diría, como tú empiezas a mirar como las aerolíneas económicas, diría como Ryanair era entre los primeros. Uno puede conseguir un tiquete, digamos, Dublín a Londres, 1 libra como tal. Y me parece que están cambiando como el tema de las visas un poco, que es un poco más fácil ir a Inglaterra con la visa de Irlanda, pero que tienes que mirar un poco, pero ya no es tan complejo como antes. Y ese fue parte de mi presentación. Ahora voy a dejar la palabra con Leticia, que no es tan irlandesa, bueno, que tiene un pelo divinamente rojo, que me encanta, que es como un poco la característica de las mujeres en Irlanda. Sonny, how are the girls in Ireland? Have they got red hair? Or is it that is a myth?
It's part myth, part truth, I suppose. A lot of people have red hair in Ireland, and freckles and pale skin, but I think in general we're all about the same, to be honest. But the main thing is that people are very friendly and very warm, and especially with visitors. But yeah, you will see your stereotypical Irish people, and there's also a festival, I think in here in Cork for people with red hair, but not everyone has red hair.
So Leticia, tell us a little bit more about you. You told me you're from Brazil, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm Brazilian.
Uh-huh.
I came in Ireland in 2019 as a student, just before the pandemic. So unfortunately, it was a tough moment because I came in December 2019, and then in March it started the pandemic. So we swapped to online classes, and it was difficult at the very beginning. But then in the end, we managed very well, and I finished my course. I renewed, as you said, 2 times, in total 24 months. That means 2 years. I experienced the work and study program. So I used to have classes in the afternoon and worked as a barista during the mornings in a cafeteria, Starbucks, very popular. So yeah, that's a point that's very important to say, to tell them that here it's easy to find a job. You don't really need to choose morning course. I know that was a myth in the past, that it's better to work during the afternoons and having classes during the morning. But at the moment, as you said as well, we are facing an unfilled places. We have a 14, I think that was in the independent journal, 14,000 places. They are wanting people to work. So it's not a difficult thing to find a job, either morning or afternoon or evening at the moment. So it's give you more flexibility to choose the best course that you prefer. Maybe you are more afternoon person and you prefer to have classes in the afternoon. It's possible to find a job either in the morning or evening. It's not an issue anymore. So as a student, I would say all that I've learned in English, the culture and the history, I'm very grateful to Irish people, because they, as you said, as Sonny said, we here are very welcome. They are very friendly, and they help us. My boss, since the beginning, they were amazing. There was a very useful experience that I had as a barista. And then I changed jobs. I work in a Viva Stadium. That's a nice place to work as well during the rugby games. So you get to know more the culture, more the people, the history. So it's a very good experience. I would recommend definitely, if you would like to learn English, come to Ireland, because I think that's Ireland. It's the most friendly place in Europe to be, to stay, to mix, and to experience the culture as a whole.
Yeah. Well, it's great to hear that, and I would say the same. The Irish people are fantastic. So now I'm going to leave the word with Lorcan, who's going to tell us a bit more about marketing English Ireland. And then that will be followed by Leticia, who will tell a bit more about the Lingua Viva in Spanish. And the last part will be with Sonny, who will tell a bit more about the fantastic place called Cork. And then we'll have some questions and answers in the end. And this webinar is also getting recorded. So please, Lorcan, tell us a bit more about marketing Ireland and why you should study in Ireland. Stop sharing my screen so you can share your one at the moment. So please, Lorcan, share your screen. I can't hear you at the moment, Lorcan.
Sorry, there we go. I have to unmute myself. You can see the slide, okay, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect, great. Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Lorcan O'Connor-Lloyd, and I'm the General Manager with Marketing English in Ireland, otherwise known as MEI. We're the leading and longest serving association of English language schools in Ireland. So we represent language schools of all sizes, locations, and varieties all across the island of Ireland. And I suppose we represent them in a number of ways, in terms of creating a platform whereby they can promote and sell their programs to all of the international markets that we work in, but also in terms of representation on a government level here in Ireland. So I suppose we're always lobbying to create, I suppose, the best environment possible for our students. So we partner with ELT groups and organizations all over the world, agents, students, governments, international education providers, and lots of special interest groups. But I guess always, I suppose, trying to support and promote excellence within the English language sector in Ireland. We are, I suppose, the brand MEI is kind of synonymous with English language training in Ireland. The organization dates back to the 1960s, and more than 90% of the students that come to Ireland are coming to an MEI school. I know, even, I suppose, going back pre-pandemic, we had around about 120,000 students coming to MEI schools every year. And we would be looking at about 120 different nationalities within that. I know Leticia was saying they have a really positive nationality mix at the moment post the pandemic. So that's a really positive thing, I think, about coming to study in Ireland. So I'm just going to show you a short video, which I hope will give you an introduction to MEI and showcase, I suppose, the Irish welcome that we've been talking about a bit so far today. I suppose we've talked a little bit, I suppose, about why Ireland, and I suppose to give my perspective as well on that. Ireland's a dynamic, lively country. We're quite a modern society. We're actually one of the youngest populations in Europe, and we have quite a successful economy, particularly in the last sort of 10 to 15 years, where we've had a lot of foreign direct investment into Ireland, into the likes of pharmaceutical companies, tech companies. So you'll find lots of these large corporations are like Microsoft, Facebook, LinkedIn, and they're setting up their European headquarters in Ireland, which is really positive for us in terms of this growing young economy. But also culture and tradition and music and friends is a really important part of our culture and our day-to-day. You'll see in sort of the top image here, this is a sort of traditional Irish music session where people meet in a pub kind of casually. It's kind of an impromptu meeting, have a few pints and play some traditional music. So I suppose to summarize that, we're a small island nation, but we're a dynamic and open place. It's worth noting as well that we're the only native English-speaking country in the European Union, now that the United Kingdom has left the EU. So that's kind of one of our selling points as well. We're also renowned, I suppose, for our beautiful countryside and scenery. And I suppose, as I touched on, our language schools are located all over the country. So like for bustling towns and cities, but also in the countryside and seaside resorts. So I guess no matter what type of student you guys are looking to send to Europe, we'll be able to accommodate them. Um, Whether it's a teenager starting from the beginning, an adult looking to improve their skills, or even executive level students, we have all of the courses available for those students, and we're confident that we have a really high quality programs here in Ireland. Um, so I suppose the next question is, where do you study when you come to Ireland? Um, and we see, like, I suppose when choosing where you're going to study in Ireland, it's important to understand the context and the experience that you'll have. So we've done something here where we've been dividing up our member schools into three distinct regions, and this is a way that we sort of market and promote the uniqueness of the different areas where our schools are located. So the first one is the Wild Atlantic Way, which we touched on a little bit, and we've 21 schools there. Ireland's Ancient East, there's 9 schools, and then there's 42 schools in Dublin City. So I'll go through the three regions and kind of give you a flavor of what you could expect to experience in these areas. So first of all, this is the Wild Atlantic Way, and it is effectively the coastline along the west of Ireland. It's 9 counties of Ireland, and it's home to really stunning landscapes, which have probably gained world fame recently, because they've been used in a lot of like film and TV, particularly, I suppose, most notably would be Game of Thrones and Star Wars. So it's attracting a huge amount of tourists. There's been a real big tourism drive around the Wild Atlantic Way, particularly the coastal drive. So you can drive literally the whole coast from the very bottom in Cork all the way up to Donegal, and it's absolutely stunning, really, really beautiful. But there's also important European culture cities along the Wild West as well. So you have Galway, Limerick, and Cork as the main sort of cities in there. So you could kind of experience a bit of the traditional small town Ireland, but also there is this rich heritage of arts and music and food and entertainment within these cities as well. So some of the must-see things in the Wild Atlantic Way, experiencing the stunning landscapes and beautiful beaches. As I mentioned, the 2,500 kilometers of breathtaking coastline, which you can drive the whole coastline now, which is amazing. Lots of outdoor water sports, and then on land, there's horse riding is very popular. We have these greenways now where people can cycle to do like a full day cycle or a hike or a walk, and golf as well. Ireland's kind of well known for its golf courses, scenic golf courses. So why would you study in the Wild Atlantic Way? It's 100% immersion in Irish culture and traditions. I suppose learning English, but also those Gaeltacht areas that Sonny mentioned. A lot of those are in the West as well. So even if you wanted to pick up a few words of Irish or just to get to know that culture as well, you'll get all of that in the West of Ireland. It's a safe, healthy, and relaxing location. We have a wide variety of schools in cities, towns, and villages. And yeah, I suppose you're living that authentic Irish experience. So then in the ancient East and Heartlands, this would be the very historical sort of region of Ireland. So you would find lots of the high kings of Ireland, lots of medieval history, and yeah, I suppose the schools in this region are able to sort of lean on that in terms of cultural experiences for their students. So this area is particularly popular for like school groups that come over on mini stays, because the students can immerse themselves in local legends, mythical tales, and beautiful castles. And there's also some really nice scenery. It's slightly different to the West. It wouldn't be as rugged, but it's more places like lakes and forests. And we have 9 MEI schools, as I mentioned, in this region. So this is towards the east and the middle of Ireland. So some of the must-see things to do in the ancient East. So Glendalough and the Irish coast. Glendalough is a glacial valley. It's in County Wicklow, about an hour outside of Dublin, and it's renowned for, it has a medieval monotheistic settlement that dates back to the 6th century, and it's really beautiful. Hookhead Lighthouse is the oldest operational lighthouse in the world. Kilkenny Castle, which is the medieval capital of Ireland, and then Waterford, which is a very interesting Viking city. It would have been one of the first settlements when the Vikings landed in Ireland in the 9th century. So it's Ireland's oldest town. It predates the Vikings, but it very much became turned from a town into a large Viking city when the Vikings arrived in the 9th century. Sorry. So why would you study in the ancient East? As I mentioned, lots of history, 5,000 years of history. It's in the heart of Ireland. All of the schools that we have in this area, they're family-owned schools. I think we counted recently, it was collectively well over 200 years of experience within these schools. They're generally maybe a little bit smaller, but really schools that have great pastoral care for their students. And as I mentioned, all the tourist attractions, the likes of Glendalough and Kilkenny Castle, and I think nearly every small county or town in this area will have some sort of castle in it. So yeah. And then finally, in terms of the regions that we sort of promote our schools through, Dublin City. So Dublin is the capital city of Ireland. It's a population roughly about 1.5 million. It's about a quarter of the population of Ireland lives in Dublin City. It offers, I suppose, a unique and unforgettable experience for all ages. The city centre is buzzing with culture, and there's a vibrant sort of atmosphere there. I suppose compared to other capital cities even in Europe, it's relatively small. You can get around everywhere by foot or bike. There's good public transport links, and the city is surrounded by parks, mountains, and coastal villages actually on both sides, because you can see it's kind of on the east coast. And there is a bay in the middle of Dublin as well, so there's beaches there and some beautiful amenities. So some of the must-see things to do in Dublin, the Guinness Storehouse. I suppose Guinness is famous around the world, and we'll probably be getting busier and busier now over the next few weeks as we get closer to St. Patrick's Day. The visits to the local scenic areas like Howth, which is kind of a small fishing village, Kilmainham Jail, which is an historic jail which has sort of ties to the Irish independence movement. And then the Book of Kells, which is stored at the old library in Trinity College. And actually the picture here is the main courtyard of Trinity College, which is right in the middle of the city centre. So why would you study in Dublin? I suppose, as I mentioned, it's Ireland's capital city, but still close to lots of scenery. It's a multicultural, friendly city, and there's an abundance of, I suppose, modern shops, cafes, bars, and restaurants. So I suppose going through the different regions, the next step maybe is sort of to get for maybe agents to get a feel for the types of schools and programs that there are in Ireland. And I wouldn't have time really to go through the long list today, but I'd highly recommend if you go onto the MEI website, mei.ie, and I've just pointed out here the School Finder. You will be able to then search a combination of different metrics to sort of figure out the schools that you're looking for, and you might be able to compare and contrast different schools in different regions and the particular programs you're looking for. So yeah, this is a really good facility because obviously there are more than 70 member schools in MEI, but this is a way to sort of narrow down your search and be able to pick out some schools that fit the program types that you're looking for your students. Also, it's worth going onto the students page on the MEI website, because there's lots of the information that Jorgen was talking about earlier in terms of studying and visas and applying for a program in Ireland. We have a lot of that information in quite a lot of detail there, so it's useful for you and also for your students when they're sort of planning to travel to Ireland. So I'll finally, I suppose, just to finish up, I suppose just sort of try and finish on a sort of positive, having, I suppose, 2 years of the pandemic and different stresses in terms of the sector. We're looking very positively into the summer 2022. The ELT sector in Ireland is optimistic about a recovery. We've earned a reputation as a premium, internationally respected destination, and we're open for business now. And MEI schools can assure agents that you're sending your students to really good quality schools, and they will be looked after with confidence, ease, and assurance. I suppose in Ireland we took probably a slightly conservative approach to the pandemic in terms of there was lots of extensive periods of restrictions, but we've come through it well. I think people have adhered to the restrictions, and the pandemic hasn't had too much of a bad effect here, thankfully, very much. And we've a very high vaccination rate, so now all of the COVID restrictions have been removed, and we can kind of live our normal day-to-day lives, and see friends and family and travel and party and go to events and do whatever we want to do. So it's great. We're really optimistic about the next few months. I'd say probably keep an eye on the MEI social media pages for sort of Ireland content, particularly as we get closer to St. Patrick's Day. We're going to be running a competition called the Global Greening Campaign, and it's effectively where agents and students can post online maybe some Irish themed pictures or videos, and the best, we'll pick out the what we think are like the most creative, I suppose, entries, and there's loads of prizes for agents and students, and the overall winner in the agent competition will be an all expenses paid trip to Ireland for the Alfie Dublin event, which is taking place in May. So that'll be a great opportunity to get some agents over to Ireland for that. So just to thank everybody for their time today. I'm sure you'll get my details, my contact details after the webinar, so you can contact me anytime if you have any questions about Ireland or the market here.
So thanks a lot, Lorcan. Otro tema muy interesante acá es que Cork English College y Lingua Viva, aparte de ser miembros de Marketing English Ireland, también son miembros de Quality English, que es una organización muy importante. Digamos que la mayoría de los institutos en Irlanda son miembros de Marketing English Ireland, pero no hay muchos que son miembros de Quality English, que es una organización muy, muy buena, que acreditan los mejores institutos en el mundo. Entonces, Cork English College y Lingua Viva hacen parte de Quality English también, que es una organización muy, muy buena. Leticia, bueno, tú eres de Brasil, pero sé que tú hablas español también, ¿no?
Sí, hablo un poco, sí, pero entiendo mejor de que hablo, pero
Okay.
voy a intentar hablar un poco.
Bueno,
Sí,
Leticia,
sí.
creo que hay varias personas acá que están como preguntándose cómo es el tema de conseguir un trabajo en Irlanda. ¿Y en qué áreas hay trabajos? ¿Y cuánto gana uno, más o menos?
Entonces, tiene trabajo en todas las áreas. No es difícil. Costumo decir que es más difícil encontrar una acomodación que un trabajo, porque tiene trabajo, tiene 40,000 puestos de trabajo a disposición ahora. Entonces, puedes trabajar por la mañana, a la tarde, a la noche, en diversas áreas ligadas al turismo, hotelería, cafeterías, estadios, como la Viva, por ejemplo. Entonces, en una caminada por una tarde, alrededores de la escuela, cerca de 5 o 6 kilómetros, pude encontrar más o menos 12 puestos de trabajo. Entonces, cercanita, 5 o 10 minutos de caminada. Alrededores de Lingua Viva. Lingua Viva está localizada en el centro sur de Dublín. Lorcan estaba mostrando, compartiendo el mapa de la ciudad. Entonces, Dublín es dividido en parte norte y sur. Lingua Viva está a 15 minutos del Stephen Green's Park. Entonces, muy cerca del centro, Temple Bar área. Entonces, es muy movimentado, muy agitado. Tenemos conducción, tem una parada de autobús en frente de la escuela, el LUAS, que es el tren, en nossa, in our back. Entonces, no hay problema quanto a transportes. Eles costumam pagar nosso salário por semana, então é mais ou menos 10,5,80 euros por semana, por hora. Então, é permitido para nós estudantes trabalhar 20 horas por semana durante o período que estás tomando classes. Quando tiene sus vacaciones, puede trabajar más, 40 horas, o cuando es summer, verano, entonces en verano puedes trabajar también 40 horas. En el periodo entre Natividad y Año Nuevo, puedes trabajar también 40 horas. Entonces es muy flexible. 10 euros por hora más o menos son 200 euros por semana, 800 euros por mes, trabajando 20 horas solamente por semana. Entonces, no es muy complicado para vivir. El costo de vida no es muy alto, pero tengo que ser honesta con relación a acomodación. Posso decir que el problema del Dublín sería la acomodación. Costuma ser un poco cara en el centro, pero si quieres morar, vivir lejos, consigues por un precio menor. Entonces, depende de usted o qué es mejor para usted, pero hay muchas posibilidades, no es complicado. En Lingua Viva yo encontré como estudiante el soporte necesario para documentación, workshops para preparar tu CV, entonces entrenamientos para entrevistas de empleo. Y es eso. Si quieres me preguntar algo que deseas que me olvidé de hablar, estoy acá a disposición.
Perfecto, no, súper, muy buena la explicación sobre cómo conseguir un trabajo en Dublín. Como la verdad, hay muchos trabajos. Yo diría que en toda Irlanda hay muchos trabajos en este momento. Digamos así, como comentaba Leticia, que vivir en ese centro cuesta un poco, pero Dublín no es una ciudad grande. Entonces, lejos no es lejos, no es lejos. Si no compara como una ciudad como
Exacto,
Bogotá.
exacto.
Sí. Entonces, como tal, no es tan lejos.
Exatamente.
Sí, sí. Leticia, muéstranos un poco más sobre cómo es Lingua Viva, por favor.
La escuela es costumamos decir que es una escuela boutique, porque somos pequeños, nos gusta tener ese ambiente que es más familiar, más personal. Tenemos más contacto con cada estudiante. Sabemos el nombre de cada uno. Entonces, es como una verdadera familia, una familia de verdad. La escuela es localizada, como hablé, en el centro sur. Tenemos 5 pavimentos, 12 clases. Temos classes pela manhã, pela tarde, todo.
Algo pasó con Leticia. Veremos. Bueno, algo pasó con la señal. Pues, mientras que Leticia se reconecta, Mark. No, sorry. Ya está Leticia, qué pena.
Ya,
Ya.
Perdón, la conexión no es buena. Entonces estaba hablando sobre la estructura. Tenemos 5 pavimentos, 12 clases. Los profes son todos nativos, son Irish, todos. Las clases tenemos un mix de nacionalidades. Es muy importante eso para nosotros, manter el mix. No o solamente una clase con brasileños o solamente una clase con bolivianos o colombianos. Prezamos, es muy importante tener ese mix para que possamos evoluir em inglês, en el aprendizaje, porque entonces se tiene solamente una nacionalidad, va a hablar en su lengua. Entonces, el mix de nacionalidad es el primordial para nosotros. Clases pequeñas para que todos tengan tiempo de hablar. Y todos los profesores son nativos. En las clases, no solamente son las lecciones, la aprendizaje no es solamente de inglés. Enseñan-nos cultura, historia, un poco de música, un poco de danza. La cultura irlandesa es importante para Lengua Viva también. La equipe, el staff que trabaja conosco, está allá, acá o allá. Estoy en mi casa ahora. Está allá por 15, 17, 20 años trabajando juntos. Entonces, se conocen, pero solamente en ese olhar. Entonces, es un ambiente muy familiar mismo. Es importante para nosotros la calidad, no el número de cantidad de estudiantes. Es mejor tener un menor número que muchos alumnos y no tener ese tratamiento personal, personificado. ¿Qué más puedo hablar para usted? Me pregunte,
Bueno,
por favor.
yo creo que Lengua Viva es entre los institutos más antiguos de Dublín, si no estoy muy
Sí,
mal.
verdad,
Sí,
verdad,
sí,
verdad.
sí.
Es la escuela más antigua de Dublín, 45 años de escuela, sí. En 1977 fue fundada la Centro Lengua Viva.
¿Tiene algún video del instituto, Leticia?
Perdón, cortó un
¿Tienes,
poquito.
¿tienes algún video de Lengua Viva?
No consigo. La
Uh,
conexión no está buena.
okay. Have you,
¿Puedes
okay.
oír?
A video. Have you got any video of Lengua Viva?
¿Puede me escuchar? Porque la
Sí, sí, sí,
conexión...
sí, yo te puedo escuchar. ¿Tienes algún video de Lengua Viva?
Sí,
Sí,
tengo. Sí. Voy a compartir mi...
sí, 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 sí,
Ok,
dale.
ok. Tengo que hacer solamente una cosa.
Tranquila.
Acá.
Ya casi no veo. No sé, ya estás compartiendo tu sonido. Entonces, falta como compartir tu pantalla.
Acá. Acá está. Puedes...
No puede ver el video. Tienes que compartir la pantalla.
sí.
Como compartir pantalla o share screen. Ahora sí.
¿Puedes ver ahora?
Sí, 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 perfecto.
¿Puedes?
¿Se quiere agrandar la pantalla tuya?
¿Puedes escuchar?
No, algo está
No.
pasando justo. Estamos escuchándolo y algo luego pasó. A ver.
¿No puedes oír?
No puedo escucharlo. No,
No.
no, estamos escuchándolo y luego no sé qué pasó.
Ok.
A ver.
Yeah, unfortunately.
When you go to press share screen, it pops up with all the different windows.
Yeah, I am sharing the screen here, but yeah,
And
when I
then
click
you have
on
to click
share
this.
and then advanced
You have to do the
and
sound button
computer
first.
audio
Yeah.
and video, yeah. and I am sharing, but I think that my connection is not good. It's
Okay.
something weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I am trying again, okay? But it'll be the last time because otherwise I'm gonna take your time.
Yeah. Let's check it. Otherwise, we will publish it on our Facebook page, and send it to them.
Here we
No
go.
problem.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you see that?
We can see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear?
that's perfect.
Perfecto.
Hi, my name is Aidan O'Shea. I'm the Director of Operations for the Lingua Viva Centre. I've been in the industry for about 15 years now. I've taught in Spain, I've taught in Korea. I'm originally from Cork, but I moved to Dublin in 2008 actually to do my Masters in Applied Linguistics, and I fell in love with the city and fell in love with a lady from the city, so here I am. My background in ELT is pretty diverse. I've done everything from academics to marketing, social activities, a bit of sales, but I suppose primarily my heart is in the operations side of schools. So really what that would entail is looking at all of the systems in the schools, the way we interact with our students, with our agents, with our host families, and making sure that everybody has the best experience possible.
Hey everybody, my name is Ian. I'm the Director of Education at the Lingua Viva Centre. And when I look back at my life, I think this is the kind of journey that I would like for students who actually come to Lingua Viva, who come here to, first of all, travel, to study, to get qualifications, and then to go back and enrich the countries that they came from. When I was 20, I decided to go to Barcelona. I studied there for a couple of years. I got a qualification in languages, and then I moved to Madrid, and I studied in International House in Madrid to become a teacher. And by the time I came back to Ireland, I was ready to be a manager and a teacher trainer. And I spent the last couple of decades doing those things. I spend my time working with the teachers, working with the materials, trying to develop programs that the students are really going to enjoy. So what we want is, first of all, stability in the school, and in Lingua Viva we're really lucky to have a small number of highly experienced teachers who have been here for a long time. That's such a fantastic thing to have. So when you come here, your teacher doesn't change, your materials don't change, you have quality in your classroom. That's my job, to keep that going.
My name is Stuart. I'm from Dublin, born and raised. I have a young family at the moment. I have two, a 4 and a 5-year-old that I'm delighted with. A little bit of work, but they're great. I've been working in Lingua Viva for 15 years, since 2006, and one of the reasons I've stayed here for so long is because it's a great place to work. We are like a family. The staff members have been together for so many years. We have some new additions, which is great as well. The job itself is enjoyable because it's there's so many different aspects to it, dealing with different people every day. The nationality mix is fantastic, so there's a constant influx of people from all over the world. As part of our job, we get to learn about so many different cultures, and it's a really enriching experience. It's great working with our colleagues, and the job itself of trying to educate people in something that's very important, a life-changing skill, is a fantastic feeling at the end of the day.
My name's Caroline, and I'm the Centre Manager in the Lingua Viva Centre. I am first generation American, and my entire family is from Argentina. So my corazón and my culture is very much Argentine. I came to Ireland about 17 years ago. I met my husband, who's Irish, in San Francisco, and then I came here for a holiday, and then we got married, and I'm still here. I've been with the Lingua Viva family for 16 years now. I came into the ELT, English language kind of world by accident, in a way, happy accident. I have always done customer service jobs. So I started working when I was 14 And I've worked in a fish store, in a bank, in a pharmacy, in a bagel shop, in cafes, in an acupuncture clinic, and more cafes. And then I was looking for something where I could still engage with people and help people and meet people, but have a more Monday to Friday structured organizational job. And my husband suggested that I apply for English language schools because I'm bilingual. So I applied for the Lingua Viva Center and I got the job. And I've been here ever since, and it was the best decision I've ever made, or the best advice my husband has given me. I love the people that I work with. They're part of my family now. I love the students and meeting them, seeing them grow in their confidence and development, and making friends from all around the world. And we've had lots of students that have met here and they've gone to see each other in their home countries, which I think is wonderful. And just to see the change in people from when they come in the door to when I see them leaving is a huge part of the reason why I love my job.
My name is John Kavanagh. I'm a teacher from Northern Ireland. I work here at Lingua Viva. I've been a teacher for 15 years and I enjoy the job that I do. The thing I like the most about Lingua Viva is that there is a sense of family, that the students are supported, and there are a lot of activities for students to take part in. We get the students involved in learning about the city and the environment that they're in, as well as teaching English. And we have a great team of teachers who really do care about the success of the students. We've got students from all over the world, and it can be a busy place, but at the same time there's a sense of individual care, and the teacher monitors your progress and supports your learning. It's something that as a small school, it's a real advantage, and I think there's a real sense of a family connection here at Lingua Viva.
Hey guys. Hi. Hey Nana. How you doing? Did you guys do this in class? Yes. Will we go this way?
Is it was okay? Everybody could see? Was possible?
Yeah, yes, you could see it.
Okay. Okay.
So great. Thanks for showing us a little bit more, tell us a bit more about Lingua Viva. Because some question came up, and we just going to try to answer them quite quickly before we finish with Sonny. ¿Cuál es el costo mensual en Dublín? What is the average cost, living cost in Dublin?
Should I answer that? Or?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, depends on the accommodation. The accommodation will be the most expensive, I would say. But in general, is around. You can find a place for 500. Food is not expensive. The bills in general are included in the rent. Some places not, but it's around 800, 775 maximum, around that. Transport is pretty cheap. For 20 euro, you can have your transport for the whole week. So yeah, I would say that the most expensive is the accommodation.
Okay, good. And they've got a question about IELTS. Have you got IELTS preparation courses at Cork English College, Sonny?
Yeah, we do. We have IELTS preparation courses and the exam as well. We're the official test and preparation centre for the south of Ireland. So we have the exam twice a month here in the school. So computer delivered. There was actually one on today, an exam, and also paper based. and it's open to both our students and to external candidates as well. So we're highly experienced in IELTS, yeah.
And they being a test center, it's quite good. Like this shows a lot when it comes to quality, and the teachers that they got a lot of experience of preparing people for the IELTS. And how about you guys at Lingua Viva? Have you got IELTS preparation courses as well?
Yeah, we do have. It's included in the higher levels, like B2, C1. We have the IELTS preparation included to that course, that 25 weeks course.
Great. So, Sony, I'm really sorry to have had you waiting here for quite some time. But Sony, you're in an amazing place called Cork, which is about 4 or 5 hours from Dublin. So please show us a bit more about your institute, which is just by the river in Cork. So please tell us a little bit about you guys, Sony.
Yes, can you see my screen okay, Jorgen?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So yes, hola a todos. My name is Sonny Kennedy, and I'm the marketing manager here in CEC, in Cork English College. We're based in Cork in the south of Ireland, so about 3 hours from Dublin, so not too far, but not too close either. We are a family-run school, so the school was founded in 1978 by Valerie Cullen, this lady here in the black. And it's still a family-run school today with Valerie's son Mark now in charge. And we've welcomed over 65,000 students to Cork in the last 44 years, both adult and junior students from all over the world. And I suppose what's really important to us is taking great pride in the personal service that we give to students and also the partners that we work with. So just as I mentioned, we're an exam test and preparation center for IELTS, but also the Cambridge exam, the OET, the TOEIC, Trinity, and the TOLES exams as well. So there's a nice variety there. And I know you mentioned it earlier, Jorgen, we're a member of Quality English since 2004. We were one of the first Irish schools to join QE. So to focus on Cork, being from Cork, we're very famous for being extremely proud of the city and the county. As you can see from my map in the middle, we really only care about Cork and nowhere else. And that's something that we try and, I suppose, impress upon our students. So we like to refer to it as the real capital. Everyone else outside of Cork laughs at us, especially in Dublin, but we don't really care. We're 3 hours away, like I said, from Dublin, but we also have our own international airport with a lot of connections to Europe, to a lot of main bases in Europe, such as Frankfurt, Geneva, Paris, Budapest, and Amsterdam. And as a school, we have 3 city center based buildings, 3 very historic buildings right in the heart of the city. So you'll see the image here on the right hand side. This is St. Patrick's Bridge and the River Lee. And this is our main building just here on the bridge. So it's quite a very prominent and very beautiful building. And as a destination, Cork is located between Ireland's ancient east and the wild Atlantic Way. So it's a great base to be living in and to be studying in, to explore Ireland, to the west, the east, and also up along to the north. So I suppose to kind of touch upon Cork's connection to Colombia, there's actually a lot of historical links. The most famous being Daniel Florence O'Leary. He was born in Cork in the city on Barrack Street, and he immigrated to South America in 1817. And he actually served as aide-de-camp to Simon Bolivar and fought for independence for a lot of Latin American countries, including Colombia. And locally here, he's known as the Barrack Street Boy or the Latin Rebel. And in 2019, to celebrate 200 years of Colombian independence, the Colombian ambassador actually came to Cork, and there was special celebrations about the links between Ireland and Colombia, but in particular Cork and Daniel Florence O'Leary. So to show you the city of Cork and our locations as a school, this is the city centre. It's actually an island. The River Lee flows through the city and splits in two around the centre. And for our school buildings, our main building is here on Camden Quay. We have a second building here on St. Patrick's Hill, and then a third building on St. Patrick's Quay. So all within a 5-minute walking distance of each other, so very close together. To show you the actual buildings themselves, this is our main building on the bridge here. It used to be a hotel and a bank and a school for the last 10 years. our second building on St. Patrick's Hill, and the third one on the quay here. Like I said, very close and on the doorstep of the city, so right in the heart of everything. In terms of facilities, just to show you some of them, we have a computer room and library for all students to use. They can bring their own laptop or use the computers that are there. We have a common room and study area where a lot of the students will come before class, during the break time, and afterwards as well to do their homework or just to catch up. We have our own coffee machine in each of the buildings, reception area for any queries and student issues that they want to discuss. And then of course, classrooms. Between all three buildings, we have about 30 classrooms and can cater for over 300 adult students. But in our main building in particular, we have 14 classrooms, and they're all equipped with interactive whiteboard technology as well. So the best of the best. So I have a short video for you, and I've just realized that I forgot to select the right option to share my sound. So I'm just going to stop sharing and restart again. Here you go. So I have a short video which basically introduces you to the school and to some of our students as well.
But Ireland is really a very nice place. It's a green country with beautiful culture.
Cork English College is a good college.
The school is located at the middle in the city. You can get to the school easily.
Cork English College was the first school that really spoke to me when I saw the website.
There is a friendly atmosphere.
All the people from the reception to the teachers are so good with all the students.
In Ireland, people are very friendly. That's why I pick Ireland to come to study English.
Cork is a good city. It's so friendly and everybody wants to help. The food is good. They eat a lot of potato, but it's good.
Cork is a little city with a small center, but at the same time is a busy city.
It has a very homely feeling about it.
People in Cork are very friendly, and it's so nice. I like Cork.
Cork English College have a lot of kinds of teachers. The funny teachers and the not so funny. I've actually never had this much fun in an English lesson. At home it's very boring, but they really try to make it fun over here, doing interactive games with you. They really take the time to help you with anything.
You are living, you are involved all day with the English language. You can learn faster.
Whenever you have a question, they always take the time to answer it, and they know where you're from, they know what your weaknesses are. They really try to focus on that.
The teachers, I think they are very professionals. They are all good teachers.
I arrived here in A2+. It was so difficult for me. And now I am in B1+, it's a good level. I think that I can communicate with my host family and understand them without saying, oh, can you stop? And I improve a lot.
CEC has a lot of activity. They organize a one-day trip to go out countryside. So I went to the Killarney. I visited the national park. I enjoyed it.
I traveled to Cliffs of Moher, to Killarney Kinsale.
So we rented a car and we travel all around Ireland. We have visited the west part of Cork, which is very beautiful.
I spent walking around the park or garden because there are really lovely gardens in Cork.
Ireland is a very international country. On Friday nights we will go to the pub. It's a very good opportunity to talk with Irish people. I can make friends from a lot of nationalities. I can listen to Irish music, and it's so interesting for me. Sometimes I can see Irish dance as well, so I learn culture as well.
My speaking is getting better. I'm really glad to learn English in Cork.
I think it's the best decision in my life.
I really feel that I'm learning a lot, I'm improving a lot.
I didn't believe this is possible, but it's possible.
I have a brilliant time in Cork, so I don't want to go home.
video gave you, I suppose, a feeling for the school and for the city, and also the range of different nationalities that we have in the school. And I'll cover that a bit later. I suppose as a school, we like to brag a bit. We're an award-winning school. So we've been named Best Language School at the Irish Education Awards for the last 3 years. We won Business of the Year at the Cork Business Association Awards in 2019. And we've won a few awards as well for our marketing and particularly social media in 2019 and 2020. And you can see me there in my tuxedo pre-COVID, but we're hoping for a few more nights out like that as Ireland begins to get back to normality. So to mention some of our accreditations, we're accredited by all of the main bodies within the industry, Marketing English in Ireland, of course, which Larkin spoke about, and also Quality English. And then as well with exams, like I mentioned at the beginning, Cambridge, IELTS and OET being the main three, but also TOEIC, Trinity and TOLES. So for our programs, we offer a wide variety of programs for adult students. So general English, business English, study and work programs for the visa for non-EU students, pathway programs, exam preparation. We also offer corporate training, teacher training, and then specialist English such as aviation, medical and military English as well. So there's a wide variety for all different needs and different, I suppose, interests. To focus more specifically on the study and work programs which are available to Colombian students, we have two options, a morning option and an afternoon option. So the morning program is 20 hours per week in the mornings from 9 until 1:20, a full 4 hours. And then a 15-hour option, which is 3 hours each day from 1:45 until 5 p.m. With both of them, you have 25 weeks of study and then a further 8 weeks for holidays to travel around Europe or to use to work full-time if you wish. So as Leticia mentioned at the beginning, you have 8 months in total and you can renew 3 times or twice more after your initial renewal. So a maximum of 24 months or 2 years in total. And we here in CEC, we give guidance with the visa process pre-arrival, and we also provide inductions and help for all students with the immigration process once they're here with us here in Cork. So again, just more information on the programs. So with the morning option, there's an exam included in the course. So you can choose to take the IELTS, the TOEIC or the Cambridge exam at the end of your 25 weeks. And with the 15-hour program, the exam is a bit extra, but not a huge amount. And you can begin with general English with the program and then move over to exam preparation after a couple of weeks, whether it's IELTS, the TOEIC or the Cambridge, but the most popular one would be IELTS. So I suppose to share a bit about the student experience in Cork. So all of our students all students on the study and work program take an end of course exam, one of these being the main three. You have permission to work part-time during your studies, so 20 hours per week, and then full-time during your holiday period. Like Leticia mentioned, there is a huge demand for workers in Ireland at the moment, in Dublin and also in Cork. And we give students help and advice with the different work that's out there and the different opportunities. So that involves our job club, where we post regular vacancies here in the school. We give help with CV preparation, and we also provide extra classes for interview skills. And what we've actually done in recent weeks is we've been inviting employers into the school to provide seminars to our students on the different opportunities that they have. So for example, just before Christmas, we had one of the main hotels here in the city, the Clayton Hotel. Their HR department, some people from their HR department came to speak to our students about job opportunities that they had. So to mention the minimum wage and the cost of living, the minimum wage currently is €10.20 per hour. And I suppose normally what we advise for the cost of living in Cork would be between €1,200 and €1,800. It's hard to give a definite number. It depends on your accommodation. It depends on your lifestyle, I suppose, how much Guinness you drink. And I suppose it depends on where you do your shopping. So it varies a lot. As well as the experience within the classes, we organize daily and weekly activity programs for all of our students. These are a mixture of paid and free activities, and it's a great way to learn more about Irish culture and to see more of Cork City and Cork County, but more especially to socialize through English and to make friends outside of your classroom and make friends from all over the world. And then also lastly, we have a 24-hour emergency line for all of our students. If they ever come into difficulty outside of school hours in the evenings or during the weekend, we're available at the other end of the line to give them any help they might need. So just to touch briefly on accommodation, we can arrange accommodation for our students, both residential or host family. For residents, we have two options, a 4-star option and a 3-star option. And we also work with a lot of families here in Cork as well. Normally, we advise students, it depends on your lifestyle choice and what you want to do. With the apartments, if you would prefer to, I suppose, live more with students and socialize a bit more, that's probably a better option. But if you're looking for a more immersive experience and live with an Irish family and really settle into the city a bit easier and use your English a bit more, the family is an option as well. But it comes down to personal preference. So then just to cover very briefly our nationalities. So we work with students all over the world. At the moment, for example, we have 25 different nationalities with us here in CEC, which is quite a healthy number for our recovery from COVID. But this nationality mix was taken from January 2020, when actually, Jorgen, you were here with us in the school. And you'll see it's quite a wide-ranging mix of students from South America, from Central America, Europe, and also Asia. And you'll spot Colombia there as well, at only 1% on that particular week, which I think was just 2 students out of about 180, I think. So a very small number of Colombian students. Now, of course, we do have other Spanish speakers, but we always encourage our students to use their English and to make the most of their time and their opportunity with us. So just some points to remember about Cork. It's a great alternative to Dublin. Dublin is a great city in its own sense, but Cork has quite a strong culture and feel to it. Within the school, we offer a quality learning experience with experienced teachers and really high quality content within the classes. For the school at large, we feel we have a very personable and enjoyable atmosphere within the school. It's a very friendly atmosphere. And I'm very biased, but we feel that we have very supportive staff that can be available to help and advise students with any aspect of their time in Ireland. And I suppose just one last point that I would make to finish is that within Ireland and within schools such as Cork English College and Lingua Viva, you're not just, I suppose, booking a course or a program, you're booking an experience to really enjoy yourself, to enjoy your time in Ireland, and to improve your English for your life going forward. So just to finish up, I have my email here if anyone ever wanted to send me any questions or to get in touch with Jorgen, and feel free to connect with us on social media. We are very active on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, because we love to share what's happening here in the school and also within Cork and within Ireland. So that's everything. Muchas gracias.
So thanks a lot, Sonny. And we are here to help you. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, among other. And you can also write a message on WhatsApp. A question some people might have is, when do the courses start? When can you start a course with you guys, Sonny?
So with us, it's a rolling enrollment. So a student can begin any Monday of the year. So it really depends on their availability and their plans. We generally don't have limited intake dates. We just advise people to book in advance, and any Monday that suits them.
Yeah. And how about you guys at Lingua Viva, Leticia? When do the courses start?
Basically the same, every Monday they can start, but it's very important to book in advance because in terms of classes and accommodations, it's always better to avoid any problem.
So how long in advance should you book your course, Sonny?
Well, it's a good question. I suppose what has to be factored in is applying for the visa and how long that can take. So I suppose normally we would recommend maybe 3 to 4 months would be kind of the ideal time period. And like Leticia says, accommodation as well. Accommodation availability is an important factor. So 3 to 4 months is what generally we would say.
Okay. It's the same for you guys at Lingua Viva?
Yeah. And particularly now, for example, in the morning classes, we are booking after September. So yeah, when you have, in terms of accommodation as well, we are just receiving after 23rd April. So yeah, we need to match what they are looking for and what we have to offer.
Great. Thanks a lot. Well, here in Colombia, it's about 1:30. For you guys, it's about 6:30 in the evening. Am I right?
Yep, that's right.
So
Yeah.
we have had some very good questions coming up, and I hope the people who are with us today are now inspired to study in Ireland. It's an amazing island. So Lorcan, Sonny, and Leticia, thanks for having us here today. And I hope some of you guys, as I said, would like to start with. Like Cork is an amazing place, particularly Cork English School, the same as Lingua Viva, one of the oldest schools in Dublin, and Cork being a test center for IELTS exam. Both are amazing institutes and are quite a good value, I would say. So well, thanks all of you, and in particular you, Lorcan, having the short presentation about Ireland, showing all different parts of Ireland. So thanks a lot. For you guys, have a great evening. For the ones who are here in South America, well, have a great afternoon. Well, I hope to see you soon again. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.